The 5-foot skunk has come and went with a boatload of sport coats and loafers. It's already June, so that's pretty normal. It's June 1st, 2013, and this is Make and Break.
Bob Wood, National Program Director of the Chum Group, worked with us in producing...
Hold up, before we get started...
Guess who's coming? Guess who's coming? Guess who's coming?
Dan Calvin.
Back again! Who is he? Just your favorite DJ Savior. Using and confusing beats that you never heard. 1990. Put a smile on your face like ultra bright.
You're just fessing, man. I don't even want to hear about it.
You're listening to Make and Break Radio on RadioMackinac.org. Thanks for tuning in to Make and Break Radio, episode 112 for June 1st, 2013 on RadioMackinac.org. I'm your host, Daniel Calvin. I'm happy to report that spring has finally sprung on Mackinac Island, with temperatures soaring into the mid-60s in the late afternoons. After what seemed like 2 weeks of rain and or cold fog, this change is welcomed by everyone, including those that spent a lot of money on rain gear for the first time in their lives. I can tell you from my own experience that a $150 purchase in Akron, Ohio at Dick's Sporting Goods paid for itself within 2 rainy days on Mackinac. I remember that my first set of rain gear was a birthday gift from my mother made by Columbia. It wasn't good stuff, but it worked. 14 summers later and a dozen shots of Camp Dry, and it still occupies a coat hook in my shop. Both the jacket and the pants. I no longer rely on them on a daily basis, as the set has been replaced by some other pants and jackets. Come to think of it, perhaps those other products aren't as good as that, quote, cheapo set purchased in 2000. The first replacement gear I picked up cost somewhere around $225, I think. They were Helly Hansen, and while I liked them a lot, the jacket itself was trouble. The fly over the zipper was prone to catching in the zipper if you didn't hold your hand just right while pulling up the zip. Jam up mid-chest every time if you didn't. The pants were awesome, breathed well, and had a mesh lining for comfort when wearing shorts. That set was lost in a misplaced backpack. North Face replaced that set. I still have the pants, I carry them with me every day. They're a little bit tight, though, in the waistband, as though made for a 6-footer with a 24-inch waistband. I'd imagine they'd fit quite well if I were to wear them without any pants beneath, which would be stupid. I still have it as a backup, but it's still junk. I mainly still own it because it was expensive and I don't want to throw it out yet. Similar to the faulty logic of a hoarder. I am truly aware that I should give it away, or at least throw it away. My current raincoat is a Patagonia. It is a women's medium. Don't tell anybody. It fits fine, and if I grow boobs unexpectedly, then this coat has a bit more room in the chest to accommodate such an event. It was a gift that I won't get into or explain. So there you have it. I just spent 3 months of your life telling you all about my raincoats. Pretty pointless, I know, but did I ever tell you that I loathe umbrellas? I don't dress as a matador nearly enough. Seeing a woman in a sundress and cowboy boots leaves me with the impression that her luggage got mixed up with someone else's at the airport. Today I read that the world's most interesting man was nearly beaten to death after telling some Ethiopians to stay thirsty, my friends.
Welcome back to the Real Straight Stock with Daniel Sir Six-a-Lot Kelvin.
The views expressed on the Straight Stock may not be the views of the Make and Break staff or the RadioMackinac.org management.
I'm gonna give it to you straight.
Ever thought about giving your kid a tattoo? Maybe some kind of tracking device, implant, perhaps rhinoplasty. What about neck-stretching stack of silver rings? Well, my guess is no. But why not? You may consider orthodontia for your child's crooked teeth. The health benefits are great after all, easy to floss and easier to brush. And as an added benefit, your child's smile will be more socially acceptable. Everyone wants their child to have a lovely smile, but let's think about the years-long rearrangement process of teeth inside of a 12-year-old's mouth. Are they truly finished moving around in your kid's head? Have or will wisdom teeth grown in? If they do, what will be the result? I've ranted before about overly perfect straight sets of teeth, mouths that appear to have at least 4 more teeth than is actually natural. I'm happy for those smiles, but after all of that work, is it possible that my amusement is based entirely on societal norms of perfection that are actually fictitious? We live in a society that allows legal body modification to be performed on consenting adults, unless, of course, a parent signs off. Tattoos and nose jobs, bigger tits and hormone replacement. These things must have parental consent, with good reason. That said, if a parent gives a kid a tattoo, it's super bad news. But a boob job? Everybody would just say, that parent's a jerk. If tattoos work the same as scars do on growing young skin, then I can say with experience with scarring that those tattoos would wind up being tiny blue NASCAR sponsor logos on your kid's arm by the time they were an adult. I know by my own young'un scars. What was once 90% of the surface of my foot is nearly literally the same size but on a much larger limb. Would that truly be that bad? That chest piece you had envisioned on your baby might be a bad idea, but your kid's nickname, or possibly the date of his first boom boom like a big boy tattooed on his arm, would be so small as an adult that he could either be proud of it or just write it off as some kind of weird vaccination scar. There are so many vaccines these days, it almost sounds plausible. I'm not advocating tattooing children, even though it is hilarious. Considering the medical rationalizations of orthodontic work, why aren't more jerk-faced surgeons pushing for rhinoplasty on the young? After all, as adults, we've been all told about the sleep apnea and other breathing issues about funky noses. I guess some of us are as messed up as pugs nasally. Cut our faces open, make us better. Cut down that schnoz into a Jennifer Aniston button. Help us breathe better. After all, growing brains need good sleep, right? It's best to give your child every opportunity, environment, and capability that you can. So what if rhinoplasty, orthodontia, and ear tubes are de rigueur? What if it turns out, though, that a dozen metal rings welded around your kid's neck improve sleep quality and healthy eating habits? What if increasingly larger clay plates in your child's bottom lip promotes a healthy endocrine system? Body image is such an important thing to Americans, yet we fail at realizing any of the realities of our bodies. I'm losing my train of thought. I'm Daniel Calvin, and this is Straight Talk Straights. The other day I overheard a guy tell his buddy to look out for big hits because Camden Yard is a hitter's park. Because no one who would care didn't know that already. Thanks, guy. If all the world is a stage, then management should fire the casting director.